why don't we then get started with a roll call, please.
Jimenez,
Present.
Peralez,
Here.
Cohen, Carrasco,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Esparza,
Here.
Arenas, Foley,
Here.
Mahan,
Here.
Jones,
Present.
Licardo.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody. We're now resuming our discussion of the backlog initiative. And we've had a presentation from staff about all the various initiatives that we have ranked in the past, as well as those proposed by the Rules and Open Government Committee, as well as a couple of our commissions. Actually, yes. So it's now time for us to deliberate and ultimately to vote. And why don't we start by going to the council with any questions or comments about priorities. And I know that I have a couple folks who have time sensitivities and need to leave by 3. And so I'm going to make sure we land the plane by that time. So we'll tentatively plan to have 5 minutes per council member for questions and comments. We'll come back if we have time to each council member. The goal of making sure we can at least get to the finish line. Okay, so first, Councilmember Cohen.
Thank you. Just to kind of follow up on this, how I ended this morning, and I apologize, I didn't do what the mayor asked me, which was talk to you in between. But the 2 items on the list that I'm looking at that kind of I wonder about how they might already be addressed are items 17 and 19. And I know item 17 isn't the same as a building electrification plan, but my theory was that under the carbon neutrality program, under environmental services, the all tools in our toolbox will be addressed, and maybe that's one that will sort of happen naturally through that 8-year process. Is there feedback on that?
Yeah, so I'll start and then ask the team to jump in. But specifically, kind of overall on your question, Councilmember Cohen, there are things on the backlog that look and feel like they could be part of a department's work plan or part of those core services that we talked about. It's when, sorry.
That was me, sorry.
Oh, no problem. It's when, and you'll see in some of these proposals where I don't want to say scope or a creep scope, but it was when the initiative was beyond what we were already thinking of doing or already looking at, or a level of focus that needed to happen. So that's why you might see something on a backlog that, sure, we're looking at part of it, but maybe not 100% of what that actual proposal may have looked like. With that, specifically, John Haristo, I believe, is here, can speak to number 19 around modernizing traffic signals citywide.
Yeah, I guess my specific question on that one is just, I mean, in the course of our normal work in DOT, is that something we're always assume thinking about how we modernize and update our traffic signaling and do better, synchronization and all that stuff. Is there a specific thing with number 19 that would be different than that would focus the scope a bit, that would actually improve services?
Thank you, Councilmember John Risto, Director of Transportation. I think what this one is really related to, we've got a lot of old equipment that's really, really out of date, and it's a matter of updating and upgrading signals and signal systems themselves. So it's really just a resource issue more than anything. As you did point out, we're always doing either new retiming plans to maximize what we can do. We're still trying to get cameras on many more of our signals themselves. We're trying to upgrade when we can. I think this is really talking about more of a wholesale upgrade of all the outdated signals that we have.
So as things go obsolete, you're upgrading them,
Correct.
obviously. And so, I mean, it seems to me this is more of a budgetary question than a priority question, or is there some work that has to be done to sort of prepare? And
resources are definitely a priority item. So
okay. All right, thank you.
And then I'm going to ask Kip, who is on Zoom, to speak to number 17 around the energy efficiency through retrofitting.
Thank you, Lee. Kip Harkness, Deputy City Manager. I think this is largely a question of volume and aggressiveness. So certainly energy efficiency is part of what we think about as we do climate smart work and we do the decarbonization work. My understanding as we look at this as bringing it up from the backlog onto the roadmap formal would be the level of resourcing, prioritization, and effort that we give to this. As you know very well, Council Member, energy efficiency is one of those things where there's actually a great deal to be gained in terms of value around lowering energy consumption, both for cost measures and also for decarbonization. And this, if this were to be adopted on the roadmap, eventually it would suggest that we should spend much more energy and effort emphasizing that, making that a reality, perhaps looking at mandates or programs that would incentivize this kind of work at a much higher volume than we are, and involving kind of the full citywide team, in addition to the kind of ongoing, more incremental work that we're doing through Climate Smart. Not to downplay that, but to be realistic about what we can achieve with the current level of resourcing and prioritization.
Okay, I appreciate it. And since I originally wrote that item, I mean, I certainly feel it's important, but I also, as we've been moving forward with Climate Smart, I was just thinking that at some point this is a tool that will have to be addressed in order to get to the goal. So I figured that, putting it on the roadmap might be redundant to work that would already happen. But anyway, thank you for the input.
Thank you. Councilmember Foley?
Thank you very much. This is going to be an interesting conversation about the backlog, but I just have sort of some general questions about items that are appearing on this backlog that may already be actively pursued by our staff, and in fact, maybe 2 or 3 years into the process and are on our committee work plans. So I'm wondering, for example, number 10, universal development fee, has been on the work plan for CED for a couple of years. So I'm wondering if staff has devoted any energy to that, and what happens if we say, oh, it's not a priority yet. Does it come off the backlog? Well, it stays on the backlog. It doesn't rise to the level of the roadmap. Additionally, number 14, Transit First, and I know there are others. These are just the ones that come before the CED committee. Transit First also goes someplace else, but Transit First we've been working on for a couple of years as well. So I'm wondering, if we don't elevate this from the backlog to the roadmap, what does that say to the work that staff has already done? Will staff stop working on them if they're not a priority? And will one of those is a Department of Transportation? Do they have other things that will fill those duties that they would have been spending on Transit First? So I'm a little confused about several of these items that I think staff has been working on for a long time. And so if we say no, put the brakes on, what happens with them?
Yeah, so Councilmember Foley, this is Lee Wilcox. I'm going to start and then hand it off to Nancy Klein on number 10, and I think Jessica Zank on number 14. So the backlog, some of this stuff is being worked on. Yes, it has not made it to the roadmap or been prioritized, but either A, it has departments working on it as a part of core services or various items that come through committee, or B, there is capacity outside of the roadmap for those departments to continue to advance some of this work. Where we use it is in the area of prioritization. So Transit First policy, specifically as an example, since you raised it, as we move forward, staff can continue to work on a Transit First policy framework if it stays on the backlog. Quite frankly, a lot of their goals and a lot of their planning incorporates this work anyway. But if we run into resource problems within the Department of Transportation and conflicting staff, say with the Vision Zero item and the planning efforts around that within the Department of Transportation, that would supersede that for us. So some of this work can still proceed as planned. Go ahead, Nancy, on number 10.
Thank you very much, Nancy Klein, Economic Development. On number 10, the fee framework, as we call it now, will be coming to CED in June. So staff has definitely and continues to work on the item, and you will see it soon.
So, Nancy, you just kind of made my point that here's something that's sitting on the backlog list, yet I know staff's been working on it because we've been hoping to get this report for several months, and now it's coming to us to take a look at the universal development fee. So if it doesn't make it off this list to the priority, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be done anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of confused about the whole backlog process.
So I think on that, Councilmember Foley, this is Lee Wilcox again. I think on our side, just around recognizing that was coming forward and how soon it was coming forward, it's probably a mistake to keep on the backlog. So I would make the recommendation that we cross that off so that you don't need to spend one of your 10 votes on that since it's coming forward anyway.
Great. That's what I was going to suggest. Can I not use one of my 10 votes on the universal development fee? So thank you. You answered that question. All right. Well, I'm not going to throw any other items out that I think are important. I want to hear what my council colleagues have to say, but the message I just wanted to get across is that I know staff is working on many of these things already. The ones in my committee, I know for sure, but everyone who chairs a committee, they know what they're working on too. And I don't want staff to feel that we're not prioritizing and that the work that they're doing isn't important, the efforts that they've made already in connection with these initiatives aren't critical and that we don't want them to go forward. So I just want staff to feel assured that their work is not for naught. And with that, I know my 5 minutes, I've reached my 5 minutes. So I will cede what lack of time I have to the next person. Thank you.
Well, congratulations. You got a victory in knocking one item off the list. All right, Councilmember Davis.
So since I'm head of T&E and we didn't get to it with Councilmember Foley's question, can Jessica weigh in on the transit first or John weigh in on the transit first policy framework and whether we can knock that one off the list as well?
This is Jessica Zank, Deputy Director for DOT. The transit first policy framework is coming to City Council this summer. And so that has been able to take advantage of concurrent work through Move San Jose. So, was able to keep moving during the last 2 years.
Yeah, and this is Dolan. For everyone's clarification, the work on the backlog was filtered about 6 weeks ago. And so at that time, there were some questions about when things were coming and would they make it. So I think the simple answer is if the work is far enough along, or of course, it should just come off the backlog, right? This is probably more catching up with the work that was done and making sure it was going to be done and brought to council in some way, shape, or form before June 30th. So I think, as Jessica just said, that's done and that will be removed from the backlog.
Great. So we're also removing number 14.
Yes, and my understanding as well, Jessica, before the question comes up, is that number 6, if that's correct, does not. Okay. Number 6 remains on the list. It's number 14 that comes off the list.
Yeah,
yes.
10 and 14 can be removed from the list.
Okay. And then I guess since I still have time, I will ask anyone else from other departments if you see anything on the backlog list that has made progress in the last 6 weeks and is scheduled to come either before June 30th or in the first part of the next fiscal year to a committee. Can they all speak now so we know what to remove from the list?
The assault on the list continues. I don't see any volunteers right now,
right.
so you may have to point it out.
That's it for my questions. I don't have any other specific other than, well, I guess I do have one more. For number 1, Boost San Jose's retail sector. Blage, can you weigh in on how that does or doesn't kind of go into the small business recovery and resilience box? And I'm sorry, I can't, I'm hoping Blog is still
He's
there.
coming.
Okay,
I am. I'm here.
thank you.
Thanks,
Sorry, I can't
Councilmember.
see you.
No problem. So Blog is Walsh with Economic Development. So this was actually right before COVID. We were ready to actually hire somebody in to focus specifically on this item. And then COVID hit and we had to kind of, make sure that we were in good shape to be able to get through the pandemic as far as staffing costs went. So we were not able to hire this person. And we had we had a series of retail strategies on both citywide, North San Jose, and downtown with elements that we were going to be implementing. So while this is a specific initiative that we were talking about, I mean, we do, try to do this at every turn in all of the work that we're doing citywide. So we're always trying to match up vacant spaces with commercial brokers, with potential tenants. We're always, trying to occupy spaces that have been long vacant in any way, shape, or form that we can as we go about our regular work. So this is more about having specific resources dedicated to implementing those strategies. And what we're doing now is just trying to do what we can, when we can, wherever we can.
All right.
That answers your question.
It does. Thank you, Blog A. And I know it's number 1 on the backlog right now. And I guess I would like to just let all of my colleagues know with my last 30 seconds that I hope everyone will be giving a vote for this one. I'd almost like to make a case that we need to move it up into the roadmap. I think this is really important. And given how devastated our downtown has been by the pandemic, I think prioritizing this work and getting that person hired is really important. And I'd love to hear my colleagues' thoughts on that as well. 5 more seconds, I'm done.
Excellent utilization of your time, Councilmember. Since I don't see hands, I just want to ask a question while folks are thinking. Number 19, modernizing traffic signals citywide, which I'm sure we'd all love to do. I get the sense that's less of a workload item and more finding money and writing a check for a big RFP for someone to go do all the hardware and software. Am I mistaken?
Would ask John to come down. I think that is a resource issue, but a capacity issue of staff as well to move that forward. But I'd ask John to jump into more detail there.
Which was the question again?
Number
John,
19 is modernizing traffic signals citywide. And I guess my concern, John, was even if we were to prioritize that and get it on the roadmap at some point, you'd come back to us and say, well, this is how many millions of dollars it's going to cost. So you got to put it in a budget. I think we'd be stuck in the same place, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's all about how much it's going to cost to upgrade these very old signals.
Yeah.
Get them into, more modern technologies, add fiber to connect cameras. It's an expensive operation.
Right.
I don't think we have that number right now. It's been a while since this has been on there. So
Yeah.
It's a budget issue.
Okay. So, and even in terms of workload, this is probably the kind of work, if we didn't have the capacity, we'd probably go get a consultant anyway to go tell us, hey, how much is this going to
For
cost?
a full-on comprehensive upgrade of all the signals and fiber. We're doing it in pieces.
Yeah.
But to get a whole number, it'll take us some work to do that, right?
Okay. So I guess my question would be, does this even belong on a list? Or is this much more of an MBA and a budget item saying, hey, council, if you want to do this, is what it's going to cost?
Well, so to help John out a bit, this is Dolan. I mean, council put it there last year.
Oh, is that right?
So because this is on the council list, so I think that, but I think it's a valid question to revisit all of these, right? So, John, I guess the question is a significant management lift to actually do the work of refreshing the business case around this?
It would, and because just the title of this, modernizing traffic signals citywide, is a pretty big effort to do that, to keep up with the technology. Again, connecting them with the fiber, getting cameras on all roughly 1,000 intersections.
Yeah.
So, if we wanted to get the best of the best, that's an effort to put all that together.
Right.
But it's a resource issue.
Okay, and I'm guessing by the end of that process, we'd probably all agree we'd need to scope this to intersections that have the most impact on traffic.
Right.
And
You'd have to prioritize all of that back down. Then.
right. Okay, I guess I'll let it sit there then. And I won't ask for it to be removed.
I have a trade for you, though, Mayor. So I think we'll leave. I think we'll leave that there. But actually, Jackie Morales-Ferran is on Zoom, and I think she has a comment on item 3, which we may be able to then take that one off the list.
Okay.
So we're doing the process called grooming the backlog. It's just I think we've learned we have to groom it twice.
Yes. Well, okay. So Jackie is taking Councilmember Davis's invitation.
Yes, I am. I'm accepting Councilmember Davis's challenge. And looking at the anti-displacement preference ordinance, we're actively working on it. We're having issues with the state, but there's nothing that the council could do at this point to move it along any faster. And as soon as we get what we need from the state, it's the housing department's intention to move it forward. And you have prioritized this through our anti-displacement strategy. So it is already in another document as something that we've agreed we are going to be working on.
Okay, so then we have the blessing to strike number 3.
Yes.
All right, Council 3, list 0. Here we go. All right, any other comments or questions? I think we've whittled it down now. We only have 10 items left. Oh, and you may want to reconsider how many choices you give us. I don't know. Isn't it n divided by 3 or something? Isn't that the
No,
formula?
we're not going to throw any algorithm in
Okay.
like in years past. I think 10 votes is appropriate given the backlog as well as the other referrals.
Okay.
And again, you don't need to use all 10 votes, I guess is what we would clarify if you don't want to.
Right. Councilmember Mahan.
Just a quick question. We effectively struck 310 and was it 17? I missed the third one.
14.
14. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. For those who are watching at home and don't know what he's referring to, there are 3 items on the backlog initiative list that are not going to be considered because they're already being incorporated in our work, and that's Anti-Displacement Preference Ordinance. Number 10 is the Universal Development Fee. Number 14, the Transit First Policy Framework. All right. Other questions or comments, or shall we vote? Councilmember Davis.
Sorry, just one more on the Public Safety Power Shutoffs Grid Bond Financing Program. Is that not part of our resiliency work already?
Not at this scale. This is some of this was us independently going after funding for the grid work separate from the microgrids. The microgrid work we're doing, it would be both around new development primarily and then around facilities that we own. This was a more aggressive, I think, in my recollection of it, was more aggressively looking at a broader range of citywide grid. I may be misremembering that. So to the extent that the microgrid work in downtown and the microgrid work in our facilities is part of this, those are already on the work plan. This was again, my recollection was this was a broader one, but I may be misremembering that.
Okay, thanks, Kip.
Councilmember Foley?
Thank you. Since I get to go around for another 5 minutes and I don't usually exceed my time, I'm going to take advantage of one of the items and put a plug in it, and that's for the Americans with Disability Acts, RR1 referrals from referral from Rules Committee. And I think this is really important, but it's not just important for the small business districts that are named in this item. It really is a small business item that affects all of our small businesses throughout the city. So I really think this is critical that we educate our small businesses on the need to comply with ADA and give them the outreach that they need, but that our efforts not be focused on areas that have defined corridors, defined business corridors. That's important, of course, but we all have businesses in our areas that have been targeted by for ADA violations, and they need assistance and they need education, just like anyone else who's in a more vibrant business district like the downtown area or Kai Willow or Lincoln Avenue or any of those. So I really would encourage staff to reach beyond the areas that are listed in this item and include that education and multi-language distribution of information in all of our districts and all of our businesses. Actually, that's the only, and I'd like to encourage you all to vote for it because ADA compliance is really important and assistance for these businesses. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Esparza?
Thank you. I just wanted to piggyback onto Councilmember Foley. It's also an issue of equity. It's a way of helping our diverse businesses as well. Little Saigon, La Placita in my district. It can actually make access to businesses, particularly in cultural districts, more accessible to more people. And so I thank Councilmember Foley for her wise words, and I'm absolutely going to be supporting it. I also wanted to ask a question on the Ellis Act. So it was just an update that is coming back to us?
Hi, this is Jackie Morales-Brand. I'm the Director of Housing. And yes, as I recall, there was some additional direction that the Housing Department had yet to complete regarding the Ellis Act, and it was around how we incentivize different development, market rate development as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, unless there are other questions or comments, we can vote.
Mr. Mayor, and just to clarify, because I've gotten a few questions over email.
Email has gone out. An email has gone out to all remote council members, so they can also vote using Microsoft Forms that's just been sent to them as well. So
Okay.
we can take a 5-minute break.
Sure.
for the scoring, and then we're going to continue on. And then when we have it, we'll do a reveal at the end of, as soon as they're ready, or at the end of the session.
Sounds good.
So we'll take a 5-minute break. We'll council in person and remote does their voting.
Okay.
When you're finished voting, you can hand the forms to Eric
Great.
Jensen. Thank you.
We'll get to work with our crayons. Everybody take a break.
Mayor, I haven't gotten an email.
Oh,
I just
Councilmember
got it.
Esparza?
Okay, just got it from Eric Jensen. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay, it just came through. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. You saved the day. Just to help with folks as they're making their decisions.
It really worked out for the best. It's been a rugged couple months.
Yeah. So I think, I know there were some technical difficulties. So what we're going to do, I think, is move forward with the presentation on the next item, and then we'll come back for the long-awaited results. The reveal, yes, the reveal.
Mayor, do you need us to email you the writing, or is the form still the best way to do that, Tony?
I'll take direction from Dolan.
So the form contains the council member's name, so we'll have an electronic record So I don't think there's any reason to email anything back at this point.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, great. All right, thanks, everybody. Let's move forward then to outcome and performance measures.
Okay, good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, council members, city staff, members of the public, Dolan Beckel, Director of the Office of Civic Innovation. To continue the last section on outcome and performance measures. So last year, our city roadmap was focused on rolling out the quarterly performance report of our enterprise priority objectives as measured by key results, or OKRs. Our plan for this coming year had always been to roll out a performance measurement framework for the city roadmap. Harvard Business School, or HBS, community partners are alumni from HBS who volunteer their time to bring significant knowledge and expertise to help local government solve problems. As our plans for formulating a city roadmap measurement framework are getting sidetracked by COVID, as Lee had said in his introduction, I decided to engage a trusted partner who has done several successful projects with the city, HBS community partners, to see if they would accept our proposal, which was a challenge. How might the city develop a robust city roadmap, outcome, and performance measurement and management framework? I was very thankful that the HBS community partners accepted our challenge, and their work is currently in progress and on a promotional basis. The lead of the HBS team is in the audience here, and I'd like Larry to briefly stand up. I think a number of the council and administration have met him via Zoom, but not in person. So thanks again for accepting the challenge as one of your projects this year. So to briefly summarize their project, the scope for their work includes, for the discovery phase, interviewing stakeholders from the city council, the administration and staff, researching city measures and metrics being reported and adopted, being reported in the adopted budget and in the city roadmap. For the analysis phase, synthesizing their findings, developing a framework, and identifying and scoping a pilot. And for the recommendations and pilot phase, developing recommendations for a robust outcome and performance measurement framework for the city roadmap, identifying alternate data sources and an approach that can be scaled for the rest of the city roadmap, because if you don't have good data, all your management decisions are not going to be good decisions, and piloting recommendations to then scale where successful. The HBS recommendations are due next month and will be used to validate and improve our current work in progress approach, which I will be discussing shortly. As Lee mentioned earlier, we've added a foundational city roadmap initiative for the next fiscal year called Outcomes, Equity Indicators, and Performance Management, with the emphasis on management, of which implementing any of the HBS partners' recommendations will be included. This will be a multi-year transformation, and the scope includes, but is not limited to, including the Office of Racial Equity's work plan on outcomes and equity indicators, very importantly, aligning the city roadmap and the city service areas, identifying data for disaggregation, collecting both qualitative and quantitative data that we currently don't collect in order to measure outcome and performance, creating and publishing monthly dashboards, refreshing the city service area measures, department performance measures, and key activities and workload as we align the roadmap and the CSAs, city service areas, modernizing our organizational, cultural process, and technology capabilities to transform and sustain our performance management, building a common understanding, including a glossary of definitions, and last but not least, leveraging the pilot and recommendations from HBS community partners. As mentioned earlier, our plan for the coming year had always been to roll out a measurement framework for the city roadmap. In terms of our status, we have started developing an approach, which I will present next. We are aligning this approach with the March budget message direction, and we started iterating with enterprise priority executive stakeholders, initiative leads on defining outcome performance measures and targets. It is definitely a work in progress. So the approach we have started to design incorporates outcome measures and performance measures into our quarterly roadmap reporting using the objectives as measured by key results, or OKRs. Last year, we focused the key results on outputs, milestones, and deliverables, which was intentional to get more of an execution and delivery focus, especially given a number of these initiatives had time-boxed funding. We also wanted to allow the organization time to adopt and institutionalize the OKR approach. This coming year, as part of the initiative Outcomes, Equity Indicators, and Performance Management, we plan to leverage that and balance our execution and delivery key results by adding outcome measures and performance measures to the key results. So an example of one possible solution leveraging this approach is shown here with an example of the objectives as measured by key results, or OKRs, status report we bring to council on a quarterly basis and staff uses on a monthly basis. Each objective would have a set of related measurement key results as shown in the pink box, with an outcome measure, which really describes the impact, and a performance measure, which describes how well we're doing. Often performance is a proxy for an outcome that we can't measure yet. It would also include the annual target for the outcome measure as shown in the pink box, as shown above in the pink box. So in order to track execution progress and make course corrections on a monthly or quarterly basis, which is important for large complex organizations, we would also continue to include a very limited number of related output milestones and deliverable key results, as shown in the second and third box, the blue and green boxes respectively. We've had discussions in the past from council about things looking very output related as opposed to performance related, and this is how we would do this. We would be dramatically reducing the number of outputs, milestones, and key deliverables, and focusing on an outcome and a performance measure. We'll bring updates to council on finalizing and implementing our approach on a regular basis as part of our quarterly roadmap update on the new outcomes, equity indicators, and performance management initiative, and this will include the HBS recommendations. Finally, I would like to note that very recently the San Francisco Office of Economic Development and Workforce reached out to the city of San Jose to leverage this approach for their modernization, including both the objectives as key results framework and the measurement framework. So Khaled, we may want to go for a three-peat on the most innovative city in America, just saying. So we know that members would like to complete this session by 3 o'clock. So that was a very quick run through. This concludes our presentation on this section of the study session, and we welcome questions from the council.
Thank you, Dawn. That was very abbreviated, but very effective. All right, let's go to comments from members of the public first.
There are no hands.
Okay. Let's go back to the council. Anybody on the council like to jump in? Councilmember Mahan.
Thank you for the presentation. I think it's exciting that we're doubling down on this direction. Question I have is where and when is the most appropriate time for the council to weigh in on what our outcome and performance measures ought to be? Do you imagine that mostly happening at the committee level or here at the council level, and what's kind of the framework for our input?
I think that there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done before we come to council, because coming to council with this would be our outcome, but we don't know how to measure it because the measure doesn't exist wouldn't be very productive. So I think my initial proposal would be part of the quarterly update to council as part of our standard quarterly city roadmap update, and have an opportunity to give you where we are. And then I actually am going to ask Lee, because this kind of fits outside of a standard committee, where might be the best committee approach to providing this update.
I think I can take it. I think that maybe some check-in progress in our public safety, finance, and our strategic support committee would be the appropriate place, since this is the strategic support function, but then bringing it to the full council, because it's ultimately the full council who needs to decide if our outcomes are appropriate and our measures and things like that. But probably a stop in and making sure we're on the right track to a committee before we make it to the full council would be a good idea. And then again, I think we will be refining over quite a long time. This is probably will be a work in progress for probably a couple of years, and we will improve it each time and take the feedback and get us to a place where we're hopefully all agreeing what are our goals and what are our measures that we all can agree upon.
Yeah, that sounds great to me. I think regular check-ins quarterly at council makes sense. I think having the ability to have more robust conversations and strategic support makes a lot of sense as well. I mean, I think if we do this right, how we define our outcome and performance measures will drive a lot of policy decisions as well. So it's pretty important for us to be engaged in as a council pretty regularly. Thanks again. I liked the example. I thought it was well done. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions or comments? Okay, I don't see any hands. I also agree, it's well done. I appreciate the effort to make some transition from outputs to outcomes. I think that's going to be great to help guide our and focus our work. All right. Then we don't have any other questions.
Council, excuse me, Mayor, I was checking to see if we're ready to do the
Reveal.
The reveal.
Yes.
And I think we have a couple options. If I don't have an update, we were prepared to show the numbers, kind of an interim result without council member Arenas' votes, or we can wait and publish those as part of the MBA. And if we can just take a minute or two to find out where we are in the status.
I think she indicates her team tried to text them to somebody on your team. She was having problems
At this
with her
point in time,
connection.
unfortunately, we haven't received them. So
Okay.
I am wondering if we can just call her and score
Yeah,
them
we'll
on
double
a sheet.
back.
Okay.
For that, we'll take a recess for now and see if we can get the results. Thanks.
So I think give us 5 minutes. We should be able to have her provide them to us via the phone if we have to use that technology. Yeah, so Councilmember Arenas, a vote was received electronically just now, so we are doing the final tabulations. I kind of feel like it's the Oscars night.
Yeah.
And the drum roll in anticipation of.
Just don't say anything about La La Land.
So good afternoon, Mayor and council members. We have tabulated all the scoring for the backlog, and we should be seeing it on the screens momentarily. And Eric Jensen is going to walk us through item by item verbally and tell us how the scoring went.
Afternoon, Mayor and council members of the public, Eric Chiarella Jensen. We have results to share with you. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is the prioritization results from each council member and the mayor. A clear top 10. So the new priority score on the left actually removes the previous coding and now has a new priority order for each of the 28 initiatives in the backlog for the city roadmap. And so what you see, I'll walk through the top 10. So at number 1, we have the Americans with Disability Act's ADA Compliance Outreach and Education Initiative, which received actually 11 total points, which was unanimous. Second priority, traffic calming policy for residential neighborhoods, which received 10 points. Third, boost San Jose's retail sector with 9. Fourth, moderate income housing plan, which received 7. And note that when there are ties, we just did numerically and then alphabetically as the second order. So 4 and 5 both received 7 total points, but the only reason we put that in that order was because of alphabetical. So number 6 is the staffing analysis, which also received 7 total points. 6th was the affordable housing construction policy on city land, which received 6 points. 7th, existing homeless shelter expansion in industrial zones, which received 6 points. 8, parks operations and maintenance financing district, which received 6 as well. 9 was private percent for art, which also received 6 points. And then 10th to round out the top 10, receiving 5 total points, was modernizing traffic signals citywide. And so with that, those are the top 10 results from the prioritization exercise.
Thanks, Eric. And just to confirm, obviously, how we work the backlog will depend on the skill set necessary, departmental capacity, and other options. So that's not to say that something that isn't 11 or 12 might be the most logical thing to work on. So the entire backlog is the backlog. All, I'll say 25 items are the backlog. And we'll work them, obviously, in priority order to determine if we can work them, but we will consider the entire backlog as kind of the pipeline of what's next in line. And that, Mayor, concludes our presentation.
So Dolan, just to clarify, I thought we had discussed it would just be the top 10 would be the backlog, because things that had low votes, we would just drop off and we'd do a new backlog and prioritize backlog at a future date if we could get through the top 10. And that's what I think that I would like to suggest for council consideration.
Okay, that is fine. That also works as well. We can do a new prioritization process once we get through the top 10.
Okay, great. Okay, so I don't think you need council action, right? You already got it?
No, we don't. And
Okay.
I can close this out quickly, just on the closing and next steps. So we will be taking the council input from today and releasing a second manager's budget addendum on the city roadmap with the final roadmap that was approved today, as well as this prioritization backlog that you just went through. We do plan on continuing work with Harvard Community Partners on the outcomes and performance measures pilot with the Beautify SJ team. And that we will be integrating council feedback into how we approach the outcomes, equity indicators, and performance management initiatives and build those into regular updates with the full council and the Public Safety and Strategic Support Committee. And then in July, or after the budget is passed, we will be engaging the initiative leads and directors to develop the various charters, visions, and work plans for the initiatives that were approved today. And then lastly, I do want to give a special thanks to Dolan Beckel and Eric Jensen as the producers of today's session and producers of the draft roadmap. Thank you very much for your leadership and expertise. And want to thank all of the various leaders in the organization that have helped get us here today. As we talked about continuous improvement and evolving and how we do this is important to us, that we continue to be at the top of our game And none of that happens without the people in this organization. So would like to thank everyone involved for the production of this. And with that, that includes our presentation, Mayor.
Thank you. And just to echo, thanks everybody for your hard work. Thank you, particular Eric and Nolan. Eric and Dolan, excuse me. This is a pretty seamless set of deliberations and decisions, and I appreciate it. I think we got to good outcome in the end. And if anybody wants to challenge the voting process, then you should name Dolan or Eric as the named defendants in the lawsuit. Okay. All right. Thanks. The meeting's adjourned.